Once upon a time, there was a young adventurer named Jack who had always dreamed of exploring the vast wilderness of the world. Jack had spent his whole life studying maps and learning survival skills, and he was finally ready to set out on his first big expedition. Jack decided to trek deep into the Amazon rainforest, a place known for its beauty, danger, and mystery. With his backpack loaded with supplies, Jack set off on his journey, navigating through dense jungle foliage and unpredictable terrain. As he journeyed deeper into the forest, Jack began to realize just how challenging this expedition was going to be. The humidity was oppressive, and the insects were relentless. He was constantly battling against exhaustion and hunger. But Jack was determined to keep going, and he pushed forward, taking in all the incredible sights and sounds of the Amazon. He saw monkeys swinging from tree to tree, brilliantly colored birds darting through the branches, and enormous anacondas slithering through the undergrowth. As the days turned into weeks, Jack grew more and more fascinated by the secrets of the jungle. He discovered ancient ruins hidden deep within the forest, and he encountered indigenous tribes who had never before seen outsiders. But then, one night, everything changed. As Jack slept in his tent, he was awakened by a rustling noise outside. He peered out into the darkness and saw a pair of glowing eyes staring back at him. Suddenly, a massive jaguar leaped at him, and Jack barely managed to escape with his life. From that moment on, Jack was in a race against time. He knew that the jaguar would be on his tail, and he had to find a way out of the jungle before it was too late. He battled against hunger, thirst, and exhaustion, but he refused to give up. Finally, after many more days of struggling through the jungle, Jack emerged from the forest, battered and bruised but triumphant. He had survived the dangers of the Amazon, and he knew that he would never forget this thrilling adventure for as long as he lived. As Jack emerged from the jungle, he found himself in a small village on the outskirts of the rainforest. He was greeted by friendly locals who were amazed to hear about his adventure and impressed by his bravery. Jack spent several days recovering in the village, resting and regaining his strength. He also took the time to learn more about the local culture and customs, and he was deeply moved by the kindness and generosity of the people he met. Eventually, Jack knew it was time to head back home, but he knew that he would never forget the lessons he had learned on his journey. He had discovered a deep love for adventure and a newfound appreciation for the power of nature. As Jack returned to his normal life, he found that he was no longer content with the mundane routine of everyday existence. He yearned for more adventure and excitement, and he knew that he would always be drawn to the wild and untamed corners of the world. Years later, Jack looked back on his Amazon expedition as a turning point in his life. It had tested his limits and challenged him in ways he never thought possible, but it had also opened his eyes to a world of wonder and possibility. From that day on, Jack lived every day as if it were an adventure, and he never forgot the lessons he had learned in the Amazon jungle. He knew that life was full of danger and uncertainty, but he also knew that it was those very things that made it worth living.